Voters in 5 states next month will decide whether to let it burn to legalize recreational marijuana. Pot will be on the ballot this election day in California, Nevada, Arizona, and Massachusetts, and Maine, too. Over the past 4 years, 4 states, including Colorado, have approved recreational marijuana laws.
Marijuana use is still illegal under federal law, but 57% of Americans believe it should be legal. For 60 Minutes on Sunday, our chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jon LaPook, investigates the impact of legalizing recreational marijuana in Colorado.
There's huge differences between alcohol and marijuana, and that's one of the things the public really needs to understand, is they think, well, we can take all the rules and everything we've set up for alcohol and just transfer them over, and they can't do that.
Dr. Marilyn Hustis, former chief of chemistry and drug metabolism at the National Institute on Drug Abuse, has been studying marijuana's effects on the human body for more than 25 years.
When you take alcohol, it has its effects and then it leaves the body. When you take cannabis, it gets into the tissues of your body and is stored.
It can be stored in the fat.
It's stored in the fat.
How about in the brain?
And the brain is a very fatty tissue. And so we know that it's still in the brain when you can no longer measure it in the blood.
Colorado law says anyone with 5 nanograms per milliliter or more of THC in their blood can be arrested for driving while impaired. But by the time a police officer gets a suspect back to the station and tests their blood, the marijuana can be out of their bloodstream. Roadside oral swab tests for marijuana are now being evaluated by Colorado police. So far, Colorado has not seen a huge spike in marijuana abuse by teens or in driving while high. But the data is still being collected on pot's overall impact on the state. All these issues sit on the shoulders of Governor John Hickenlooper, who was originally against the legalization of recreational marijuana.
My biggest concern is that we're not collecting data. And what I've told other governors is don't wait for the laws to change. Start collecting baseline data now. How many kids are using marijuana? Start looking at accidents. Was there THC involved? So that we really have good baselines so that as we accumulate more data, if they do legalize it, we can see what the effects of legalization itself really are.
Dr. Jon LaPook joins us now. Good morning.
Morning.
So after this, I mean, what conclusions have you reached? Because as you just said, there is no test.
Yeah,
there's no breathalyzer.
There's no the equivalent of a breathalyzer for alcohol. You can't. It's hard to tell if you're driving while stoned. So for me, you know, the reason why 60 Minutes went to Colorado is we wanted to go to the place where there's the most experience with it, because it looks like, as we said in the preview, that most Americans do want it to be legal. And if it's going to be legalized, we need to find out, you know, how to do it the most responsible way. And Governor Hickenlooper said to me, what are the guardrails here? How do you make it so that kids, you know, don't?
So he's gone from opposition to let's see.
To let's see. And then when you go there and you speak to doctors and you speak to cops and you speak to scientists, you realize there are so many questions. This is so tricky, which is why we've learned so much when we went to Colorado.
So what more needs to be done, John, to really understand the effects of recreational use and medicinal
Well, for one
use?
thing, as Governor Hickenlooper said, we need to start getting data now. So one of the problems that they had in Colorado was, yes, they were able to measure in babies, for example, newborn babies, marijuana in the system. There have been a slight increase that they've measured of fatal car crash where they find marijuana in the driver. But is that a change? They don't have any good baseline data, so they don't know, is that a change?
And you said you asked Governor Pence about this, and he said been no discussion in the campaign trail.
Yeah, he said very little, and I think it's slipping under the radar, this discussion.
Yeah, but the point is that there are new pot laws on the ballots that are going to affect about 84 million Americans. We'll be talking about it on election night. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
And you can see John's full report Sunday on 60 Minutes. He'll show us the largest recreational marijuana cultivation facility in the country. That's Sunday here on CBS.